All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Up and In Show Daily. Um, Quick intro today. Just really want to talk a little bit about showing up, being consistent, and really just, piggybacking off of yesterday's message of doing your best. Today I'm waiting on a phone call probably to close out this deal with the shop, and really just want to focus on controlling what you can control, showing up and being the best version of yourself, even when things are out of your control, right? And so, today was able to wake up, work out, have a nice day, and then connected with a guy named Cole Henry who pitched at LSU, very good baseball player, pitches for the Washington Nationals. And so today I sat down with him and we just shot the shit a little bit. We talked for 15, 20 minutes. And we talked about his debut. He made his major league debut after switching to the bullpen after being a lifelong starter. So we talked about that adjustment, talked about his journey as a baseball player coming from Alabama and playing travel ball in Louisiana, and then accepting a scholarship to LSU and playing a couple of years here. His his sophomore year when he was draft eligible was shortened due to COVID, but he was still a second round pick, drafted 55th overall by the Nats, and he got like $2 million, I think. Or close to it, a good number. And he finally made his major league debut. He had surgery in pro ball, and we talked about that journey a little bit and how that surgery really helped him in his career. And then, like I said, made his debut this year. We talked about that experience, the debut story. It was really cool. And Cole's a good kid, man. You can see it. So he was nice enough to share some time with us on his off day. So I'll share that video with you guys. And then I don't have too many calculated risk plays today. I have a few up on my Picket. So make sure you guys go follow me there. Use code Ranaudo, Ranaudo. And you guys will get a mystery prize of $3 anywhere in between $3 and $100 as long as you connect your Venmo or your PayPal, and you connect the sports book that you have made 10 bets on in the past year, or you're going to make 10 bets on. So as soon as that happens, you'll be able to get your bonus. Make sure you use code Ranaudo when you sign up, and go follow some of my bets if you guys are interested in tailing some stuff today and watching some baseball. But enjoy the interview or the conversation with Cole Henry, and I will be back tomorrow. Peace and love. Appreciate y'all. We've got a special guest, Cole Henry. It's an off day for the Nationals. So we are blessed with his presence because on an off day, I mean, I give you kudos, bro. Like, I don't know if I'd be doing a podcast. So thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Of
Um,
course.
and you said that you're going to the Caps game later too. So that's really awesome. But I'm excited to catch up with you. Obviously, LSU legend. And you got to make your MLB debut. You're having a great start to your rookie year. So I'm excited to catch up. This is the first time we've gotten a chance to formally sit down and talk on a podcast and get to talk your story. So I appreciate the time. Thank you, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me on. Excited to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take it back. You're from Alabama originally, right?
Yep, from Alabama.
All right. So growing up, were you an LSU fan? Like, how'd you end up at LSU?
No, I wasn't. I was an Auburn fan growing up.
Ooh, was that a weird
Yeah.
decision going to LSU then?
No, it wasn't at
Okay.
all. I played travel ball in Louisiana with
Okay.
Team Rucci. So most of my teammates, and then it switched to Louisiana Knights. So most of my teammates and everything were from Louisiana. Kind of just seemed like the best spot to go.
Nice.
Everybody kind of dreamed of going there on my team and talked about going to LSU, and then you go to Auburn baseball facility or Alabama baseball facility, then you go to LSU. It's quite the difference. So, yeah, it just felt like LSU put baseball first, and more so than Auburn and Alabama did, and really anywhere. So it was just a really easy decision for me. I loved AD, loved Coach Maneri, so it was really easy.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. And when you come to LSU, you came 2019, right? So your first year, you got a normal year, but your second year, and you were a draft eligible sophomore, right? You had the
Yep.
COVID year. So that had to
Yeah.
have been kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, it was very weird. Obviously, I had no idea what was going to happen after COVID. So it was just whirlwind of emotions. Like season just got basically shut down out of nowhere. We're stuck in Baton Rouge, like not knowing what to do. The big leagues, were shut down as well. Like nobody knew what was going to happen at all. They told us that we were going to like take 2 weeks off and then resume the season. We were supposed to go to Ole Miss. That we get on the bus, and then Maneri gets on the bus. He's like, everybody off the bus, team meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so weird.
I remember how crazy that was because I was talking to Jaden at that time and we were getting ready to start like training some stuff or like doing some stuff and he was like, "Yeah, we don't really know." And then he was like, yeah, the season is like shut down." I was like, "Holy shit." Yeah,
Yeah,
it escalated so fast. That was nuts.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was funny because like maybe like a week or two before that, the Ivy League had like canceled their season, and we were kind of like making fun of them the whole
Yeah.
week or 2 weeks before we got shut down. Like, man, what are they doing? Like canceling their season, and then bang, whole world shuts
Whole
down. So
world. Yeah. That's when
yeah,
the NBA shut down. I remember like seeing that news and I was like, "Oh shit, this is like for real, for real. Like everything
yeah,
about to get like shut down."
yeah. Pretty scary. Pretty scary. Obviously, nobody had any clue what was happening. So
Yeah, exactly. It's so
yeah,
crazy. 5 years later, we look back on that and it's like that was again so crazy. But
yeah,
obviously a super curveball in your draft year, you know. So like, I mean, what you got to pitch what a handful of times, maybe like 2 or 3 times.
yeah. I think it was like 4 times maybe.
Yeah,
Thank God we played Texas like early on in the season at Minute Maid. So uh, got to showcase a little bit there against a really good team and a great atmosphere. So that was really cool. I mean, obviously the year before got to throw a good bit. So
yeah,
yeah, it was just a very short season, and a lot of guys didn't get to really show their stuff that quickly. So yeah, I think it probably was a little bit beneficial, and then could have hurt me as well. You never know. So
yeah. But it you know it's worked out now. It's hindsight's always 2020 here in the big leagues and it's worked. So talk to me a little bit about that decision. Second round pick, you start pro ball. Um, as a draft eligible sophomore, was there ever really a chance for you to come back for your junior year as a second rounder? Obviously, you could have been a first rounder, and
yeah,
increase that. But I mean, you got good money and you were in a good position to go pro.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I set my number, and told teams like, look, I'm not taking anything less than this. I'll 100% go back to college.
Yeah,
Was really planning on going back until last second. Really, the Nats kind of swooped in. But yeah, I was really close to going back to college for that next year. I mean, a lot of it had to do with COVID and like the uncertainty behind if
yeah.
there would even be a college season or what that would look like.
Damn, I
Um,
didn't even think about that. Yeah, that had to
yeah,
have been a serious consideration. Yeah.
yeah. So we knew that the MLB would be a sure bet. So that weighed in on the decision pretty heavily.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was really just one of those things where you set your number where you want it. You feel like, that's what you're worth. And then if somebody meets that number, you go. And then if not, you go back to the best place to play college baseball there is. So,
Yeah.
not that hard of a decision at all, either way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, when you get that kind of money and in that position, like you make the right decision. So again, I was, as an LSU fan, would have loved to see you come back, but that uncertainty, and again, as a fan, right, sometimes we forget those little things, you forget that that's like a real factor in the uncertainty of your career. So I love that decision. That's definitely some insight into that. But I mean, again, that money, you have to take that opportunity. But when pro ball started, I think you had Tommy John?
No, never had Tommy
Okay.
John. I had a
Yeah.
few like elbow things.
Okay.
But just one of those things like I would get this elbow pain or arm pain, and then I'd get MRIs, get imaging and stuff, and nothing would ever show up. And then we finally kind of figured out that it was all stemming from some nerve stuff going on in my neck, and then
Ah.
ended up having thoracic outlet surgery, and helped clear all that stuff up. So I haven't had any issues really at all
Wow. No, I
since
love
then.
that. So yeah, so
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit about that. So that surgery is really interesting, right? Because it's more about the nerve, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could be so. There's one of two um, things. It can be your vein. It's like the one of your main arteries goes through there. So your vein or your nerves could be compressed by your neck muscles here, called the scalenes,
Right.
or your pec minor, which is underneath your main pec. So yeah, it was just a weird deal. Kept having all these problems around my elbow and like down in my hand and stuff. And everybody kept saying like, just probably a forearm deal. Never really looked upstream. Obviously, it would be like I would have the problem. I'd take a couple weeks off, and then I would feel good again, and then I would ramp back up. It'd be no issue until a month or two back into throwing. So just
Wow.
that constant throwing and fatigue would just, get my pec super tight and would compress my nerves, and then it would just, refer the pain downstream towards my elbow and my hand. So really weird, but we finally got it figured out, and it's been fine ever since. So
That's awesome. When did you have that surgery? I can't remember. That was
it was 2022,
okay.
so a
So a
couple
couple
years
year
ago.
year into pro ball or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I pitched my first year, had same deals as like college where I would just have that forearm stuff, and then it was fine after a few weeks, would ramp back up, throw again, and then just kind of kept happening over and over again. And we're like, maybe we should look elsewhere because
Yeah.
every time we're looking at the forearm or the elbow, like there's nothing there,
Yeah.
and we just keep doing the same thing. So
I wish I would have explored that when I was playing because I think I had a lot of I had a lot of hand or I had tingling into my finger, into my forearms, and I always had
yeah.
a bit of elbow, chronic elbow injuries. And then when I fall asleep, my arm goes numb very quick, and so
Hmm.
I always, there's a lot of stuff that's come out since I've played about that, and I was like, man, I wonder if I would have explored that if that would have helped a little bit, but.
Yeah.
So I'm always curious when guys have that surgery and when
Yeah.
they have success with it,
For sure.
especially.
Yeah. Pretty scary surgery. A lot of people don't come back the same. But from all the research and stuff that I did, I kind of concluded that that was probably the best route to go at that time.
Yeah.
Um, and it has, at first, it was pretty tough coming back, as with any surgery, it takes a year or two to get back to where you were beforehand. And there's a lot of trials and tribulations and just trying to trust your arm again, really. So, that was just the biggest thing was getting through that first year and a half of post surgery, and then after that, it's been really good. So
Nice. Yeah, no, I love that, man. And it is. The surgery in itself is always a little bit of a question mark, right? But that one especially, you've always heard, it's relatively new for pitchers too. So
yeah,
it doesn't have the track record. But no, that's
yep.
awesome. I love hearing that. And then that transitioned you into a position. When did you make the transition to being out of the pen?
This spring training,
So talk to
it's
me a little bit
fairly
about
new.
that. Yeah, what was that adjustment like?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of had an idea coming into this spring training that we were pretty loaded with starting pitching depth, and I knew that our bullpen was not as deep. So I feel like my best chance of breaking into the big leagues would be out of the bullpen, and I know that they like my stuff coming out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Just kind of let it fly, and you know, I think going into it, I was kind of like, you hate not being a starter anymore. It's kind of the best, getting those 4 days off between each outing. But um, no, I kind of just try to take it in stride and pick some brains from the veterans around the clubhouse at spring training that had been through it. And actually, one of my really good friends, Jackson Rutledge, who was with us as well, he got told basically the same day as I did that we were both being changed from a starter to reliever. So we've been able to kind of go through it together and help each other on different things. Or, it's just been a adjustment, but it's been good.
Yeah, and dude, it's when I was playing, that was almost considered like a bad thing, but now in the game, it's a strategic thing and honestly amplifies guys' careers and bullpen guys get paid just as much as starters now. And it's
Yeah,
harder to get paid as a starter than it is a reliever, honestly. So
yeah,
honestly, I think it could be a great career move for you. And obviously you've had some good success with it so far.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of just going out there, letting it fly, not having to conserve really anything. As a starter, you want to try to eat innings and go as deep as possible. But as a reliever, you have a stable of arms out there that, you could go one at a time for a few days in a row, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
it's been good so far. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the one thing that I know you're probably just like, holy shit. You've had 8 appearances. I was looking at the stats and you've been shoving, right? And you have one game that you give up a couple runs and all of a
Yeah,
sudden your stats are you look at the stats from afar and but it doesn't tell the whole story because 7 out of 8
yeah.
appearances, dude, you've shoved. It's been crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of had my welcome to the big leagues moment, I think. Get to go out there, feeling pretty confident in myself. Like my first few outings went really well.
Yeah.
And then I get Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, and Pete Alonso to start off the inning
Yeah.
and just go like hit Lindor and then base hit, base or double base hit, and then just snowballed. So it happens really fast up here. And you got to take it pitch by pitch and just try to limit damage as much as possible when stuff like that happens. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was good learning experience, and hopefully we'll have any more of those coming
Yeah.
up. So
The good thing is though, dude, and this is why I love doing this podcast and this show because we're gonna record this, right? And we could be 40 years from now, like at an LSU reunion, and be like, bro, remember when you fucking had your bad outing? Yeah, it was three Hall of Famers, Francisco Lindor, fucking,
yeah,
Soto and Alonso. Like, think about those,
yep,
like,
yeah, yeah,
so again, it's like, all right, tip your cap. That's your big league moment, right? Like you said,
yep.
yeah, all right, then they got me. They got me. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna have those days, especially at this level. It happens to everybody, and it's kind of just see how you bounce back. Really, you can't really change much. You can't reinvent the wheel. You just got to keep doing what you do and go out there and compete every time. So you try not to. You got to have a short memory, really, as a
Yeah.
pitcher for sure. So
And then as a reliever, now that is the good thing is like you get to back, you don't have to wait 5 days now. You can maybe get back out there like
exactly.
after that bad one, and you're like, all right, maybe I'll
Yep.
get back out there tomorrow or something.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. You got to rebuild that trust over and over again. Really, it's like, what have you done for me lately? So, just getting out there and trying to be your best every time. That's what makes it fun. And I'm a super competitive person, so I like the challenge every time.
I love it. I love it. All right, I'll let you get out of here in a couple minutes, but let's talk about some good shit. So let's talk about the debut day. What was the call up like? Like where were you at?
Yeah.
You in AAA? Like obviously in
Yeah.
Rochester?
Yeah. I was with Rochester. We were actually playing against the Yankees AAA team in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Uh, it was really just out of the blue. We actually got snowed out that day.
Oh,
It
shit.
was super cold. Yeah, super freezing cold. And so the Masters was on. So me and my wife and our dogs are all just chilling in the hotel room, watching the Masters, just trying to avoid going outside at all costs.
Yeah.
And get a call from my manager at like 5 o'clock that afternoon. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just watching the Masters. What are you doing?" He's like, "I just need to call and share some good news. Like you're gonna be flying to Miami tomorrow." And so yeah, we start jumping up and down like, oh, I try to act calm. I was like, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
You're like, okay, yeah, can you shut up now? I want to call everybody and go scream. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. Like, and then I get off the phone, start calling my parents and everybody else. And yeah, it was super cool moment and something I'll remember forever. But yeah, we got to go from Scranton where it's freezing cold and raining and then straight down to Miami. So it was pretty cool switch up for sure.
That is very cool. That is really cool.
Yeah.
You said you didn't have any idea, like it was kind of really out of the blue, or
No, yeah, really out of the blue. I kind of
wow.
had an idea of like I'm on the 40 man roster,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like
You knew it
I'm
was an
one of the
option, right?
guys.
You could be.
Yeah, definitely an option. Like at any point, especially as a reliever, like relievers go down all the time. It's just a constant revolving door. So you always think that you have a shot at any point, but I definitely wasn't expecting it at that time. I started the year Double A this year,
Yeah.
and I didn't even make an appearance at Double A. I go to Double A for one day and then get called up. A couple injuries happened. Get called up to Triple A. Was there for a week and then to the big leagues after a week in Triple A. So
Holy shit.
yeah,
Oh my God.
pretty
Yeah, I saw that you
crazy.
made only two appearances. I didn't know that they sent you to
Yeah.
Double A to start. That's wild. That's even
Yep.
more wild. Then you didn't even pitch there. That's
No. Yeah. I mean, we literally like on the way up. My wife's with me. My dogs are with me. So like we try to book a place. So we end up booking a place to rent for month to month because you never know. And
yeah.
so yeah, we get that all set up, get to Harrisburg, get ready to like settle in there. And then the day that we get there, show up to the field, they're like, yo, you're leaving. So cancel that rent, cancel, everything. We'd already dropped our dogs off at the boarding place because we were heading out of town that week.
Oh my
So
God. Yeah.
we go pick them up, go to Rochester, and then same deal. Like we end up going out of town the first week I'm there. So, try to get a place going. Like we're going to be there for a minute. End up same thing, getting a spot, and then that week we haven't even moved in. We still have it right now. We haven't ever moved in. So
See,
that's how it works. So
that's what people don't understand about this. They're like, ah, it must be
yeah,
like, yeah. You're like, yeah, except my wife is in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and freezing cold, and she's got to go back to Rochester. Then she can come meet me.
yep,
Like, you don't understand.
yep,
Like, people don't understand that. That is
yeah.
nutty. Oh my
Ton
God.
of moving parts and huge props to her. I mean, she keeps us she's the glue that holds everybody together. She does all the tickets and she takes care of our dogs everywhere. She also has a job too that she works remote on. So
Holy shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
we got her hands full and yeah, she carries the load for sure.
Wow, 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 wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, again, this is why I think, shining light on this is like, it's obviously beautiful. It's a 1% thing in the world to play Major League Baseball. And like once you get there, you realize you're like, this is the utopia, right? But like
yeah,
getting there, that journey and that bullshit that you just talked about is crazy. You were in double A for 13 seconds and then triple A,
yep,
like oh my God, that's nutty. So, was there like an uptick in your stuff when you went to the pen, like where it was like, oh shit, let's get him to the big leagues as soon as like he has like one or two outings?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, in spring training, I threw really well, um, and I was pretty used to like the bullpen stuff. I think they wanted to just see how my stuff would play.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it was really good in spring training, and then had a really good couple outings in AAA. Had an injury happen in the big leagues, and I'm like one of the only options as a reliever on the roster. So just called me up, see what I had, and then it's whatever. You just get
Awesome.
out there and you compete. Yeah.
Who was the debut in the first out and strikeout? Who was it? Do you remember?
Uh, I think Derek Hill was my first out.
Okay.
And my first strikeout was Matt Mervis.
Nice. Okay. He's having a
Yeah,
nice little year.
yeah,
That's cool. You got the ball
yeah,
and everything? Did it get
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
let's
They authenticated for you, and then they put it in a little case for you, and then
yeah,
print a little nameplate and who all was up to bat and everything. So it's cool. Yeah,
love it. Yeah.
got the
How's
lineup
that?
card too. So
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I
yeah,
love that. That's good, man. That's the best. Man, that makes me happy. That's good. Um,
heck yeah.
well, how did you are you did you call Dylan like when you got the call right away and told him?
No, no, I didn't. I didn't. I knew I'd see him when I got there.
Okay, yeah,
He was
yeah.
actually sitting on the couch, so I just like walked in. I walked up behind him and grabbed him.
I love that. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's been really cool to have Dylan up here too.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm sad that we never got to play together in college, but
Yeah.
we've been pretty good boys since he came to LSU, and
Yeah.
I like to say that I had a little bit to do with him coming to LSU instead of going to the pro ball. I was messaging him, hitting him up before the draft, saying like, "Yo, you need to come, like we need you."
I
And
love it.
so yeah, it was cool, but yeah, it's awesome having him, and then we have Gavin Dugas too.
Yep.
So there's always little sprinkles at LSU everywhere you go. I mean, we just played Jake Fraley. I saw Jaden in Colorado, Skeens in Pittsburgh. So like, dude, it's been really cool and really
Yeah.
cool to see all those guys. So
Yeah, no, the LSU brotherhood is pretty special up there in the big leagues, and what you guys are doing is pretty special. So keep representing LSU well. I appreciate the time, dude. I'm sure I'll see you soon in Washington at some point. But keep throwing it well, and we'll talk soon, man. Thank you so much for doing
yeah,
this.
yeah,
This is awesome. Yeah, thank you.
of course, yeah, yeah. Thanks for having me, and anytime. Yep.
All right, dude. Go enjoy the
All
off
right,
day.
Ant. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Later, man.
See you.
Peace.